Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Spirit of Justice, where we get to the heart of the matter as fingering Geiru for the murder of a certain Shisho, her master. We now have the evidence that proves that Geiru could have killed her master, even with her soba allergy. Why? Well, this note here, as we've learnt, the free freshes. You gotta make it fresh. You gotta grind the buckwheat seeds fresh. You cut the dough fresh. You boil the noodles fresh, and you never let it rest. Resting. Do not disturb.
Take that!
It's Master Tornado's note! That's our evidence! The note? Preposterous. What possible connection could there be between the witness's allergy and that note? The answer lies in the true meaning of this note. Its true meaning? This note does not mean I am resting. Do not disturb, as we had assumed. But rather, it actually means this dough is resting. Do not disturb it. Wait a minute, Athena. That doesn't make any sense. You're right. It doesn't. After all, as Bucky told us many a time, you don't let soba dough rest. But what's all this jibber-jabber got to do with anything? This is it. The home stretch. This note and Mr. Wet's words have led me to the conclusion the Master Tornado was not making anything. Well, we know there's proof that something was made. Making soba noodles. Well, if it was, then Geiru could not be the killer with a super allergy. But making udon noodles could be the truth. The victim, tied for Tornado, was not making buckwheat noodles. He was making ordinary udon noodles instead. Polkanka! That layer of flour in the dressing room wasn't soba flour, but plain old wheat flour for udon. So actually, it was totally possible for Geiru to be in that room and kill her master. What? But if that's true, it changes everything. Your Honor, the defense requests that the flour in the room be tested immediately.
Objection.
You would. But soba noodles were found in the bowl, and Geiru did have a reaction on her hand. How do you explain those things? Well... Even were it udon flour instead of soba, you still cannot prove Geiru committed the crime. But... Don't lose your nerve now. Keep charging forward or you'll feel my blade at your back. Enough with the threats already! I got it! Talk about pressure. All right, Athena, take a deep breath and go over everything again. I'm going to revisualize the case from start to finish. I have to find conclusive evidence that Geiru committed this murder. Oh god, we were well near the end. What was Master Tornado making in his dressing room? Well, it's udon noodles now. Not soba, not ramen. The only possibility Master Tornado was making udon. By my logic, Master Tornado must have been making udon noodles in his dressing room. But something at the crime scene indicates otherwise. What was found in the bowl on the table? Well, it was soba, obviously. Because it's the soba juice that got her? Or at least the fatty residue of soba leaking into the rest of the mishy deal. Dishy meal, that's the one. Even though the master wasn't making soba noodles were found at the scene. So that means the noodles had to have come from somewhere. Or maybe someone was called to make a delivery. Wait a minute, one mysterious serving of soba noodles. That sounds familiar. Yes, it does actually. Where did the soba in the bowl on the table come from? Well, it sounds then that it must be the soba stock that went missing all that time ago. Soba was from the master soba stock. The soba noodles found at the scene were from the master stock of uncooked noodles. But then why would the culprit grab a way to cook that soba and put it in the bowl? Well, that's really obvious. Why did the culprit cook the soba noodles and put them in the bowl? She likes soba, which she can, so it's got to be the udon dough. It's concealing the murder weapon. The murder weapon was not soba dough. Soba was found at the scene, so that means the culprit must have taken the udon with her to hide it. But why did the culprit take the udon away and hide it? It must have been because she killed him with the udon dough. How to grudge against udon. Yeah, that's the one. Udon cells dropped today after it was revealed it could be a murder weapon was the Udon dough. That's it. The Udon dough was the real weapon used to kill Typhoon Tornado. And the reason why no weapon was found is because Geiru got rid of the dough somehow. Here, doggy doggy. The real murder weapon was the Udon dough the victim made. If we can find this dough, that'll prove my theory correct, because why would, even if you're doing like time soda and stuff like this, if you know one of your employees, one of your cast, is deadly allergic to something, wouldn't you stop stocking or using that something or even eating that something out of courtesy? That only makes sense. If we can find this dough, that'll prove my theory correct. And undeniably prove Geiru's guilt.
Objection.
Even if we could find this dough, what makes you think that it would prove she is the one? Please recall Owen's eyewitness testimony, Prosecutor Sadmati. If the injury on Geiru's forehead was caused by the victim's knife, then Geiru's blood must have dripped down onto the dough used as the murder weapon. And that would make the dough pretty conclusive evidence, wouldn't you agree? Ah, but where is this conclusive evidence? Let us hear your theory on where this murder weapon is. Do we have anything to present? Well, it's... If I can't find the answer in the evidence I have on hand, we'll lose this trial. So how did Geiru get rid of the Udon dough? Think, Athena. What do I have that points to suspicious behavior on Geiru's part? And now then, Miss Sykes, let's hear your answer. Where's the real murder weapon hidden? Nice barking you did there. I assume you have the bite to back it up. Stop distracting me, especially not right now. This piece of evidence can point us to the location of the hidden murder weapon. It's got to be evidence we haven't used yet. Most likely, that's the usual formula. Well, this hasn't been used yet, but it's not going to be it. Invitation. Did we ever use this? Yeah, I think we did. Yes, we used it about the sober glutton and his time sober routine. Master Tornado was confirmed alive at 4 PM. Bucky Whet entered the room at 4:10 PM and left at 4:20. Wendo discovered the victim's body upon entering the room after Bucky left. Before Bucky came to the theater, Geiru was outside feeding her dog a number of dumplings. Here, doggy doggy. The dog buried his leftovers in the yard, which means the murder weapon is also still there.
Take that!
Geiru. Huh? What is it? I'm just an innocent girl. I don't know anything about a murder. Stuff that cute act in your balloon hat. Geiru got rid of the dough she used to kill Master Tornado in a bold and daring way. She did it right in front of Prosecutor Blackwell's nose by feeding it to her dog. No, Of course, now it all makes sense. I was puzzled as to why Geiru, who should know her own dog's eating habits, would feed Jugemu more than he could possibly finish. Your Honor, please order an investigation of the yard right now. And what should the police at the theater be looking for exactly? Jugemu must have buried his leftover dumplings somewhere around his doghouse. Dumplings that Geiru made out of the Udon dough with her blood in it. Nah! Nah! This is preposterous. I want to thank you, Simon. If you hadn't kept me going, I might have given up along the way. What are you blabbering on about? You still have work to do. Now, by your hand, finish this wretched case off, Athena. You got it. Geiru, do you remember what you said would happen when the truth is finally revealed? When the truth's revealed, it'll be your balloon or mine that goes pop. Got it? Well, now the truth is out, and it looks to me like it's your balloon that goes pop. Nah! You really need to stop doing that to yourself, man. Bolkonka! It's a deadly weapon he's got on hand. I'm a Rakugo artist. I was the one who was supposed to inherit that name. But then Shisho. Why are my balloons bursting? Daddy, are you mad at me? I've been a bad girl. And I knew it.
What? Now I'm not interested in you anymore, witness. I mean, murderer. You're obviously a murderer now. What the hell?
That's a change of look. Oh. Are you ready to tell us everything now, Geiru? The whole reason I entered the world of Rakugo in the first place was to follow in my father's wonderful footsteps and inherit his stage name. His stage name? You don't mean...
Uendo Tornado.
I knew I wasn't very good at storytelling, but I thought that if I did the stupid balloon thing like Shisho wanted, I'd inherit the name someday. But Master Tornado gave the name to his junior disciple. Yeah, that's why I took my revenge on Shisho during the show celebrating the name succession. So that was your entire motive? I doubt anybody else could understand, but inheriting my father's name was everything to me. It was my whole reason for living.
Of all the days you could have taken your revenge, why did you choose the day of the show?
Because I wanted to pay Uendo back for stealing what was rightfully mine. I wanted to pin the blame on him at the show where all the Tornado fans were gathered. But then Uendo tried to shift the blame onto Bucky Whet, and now we know the whole story.
There's just one more thing I want to know. Did you know Master Tornado was making udon in his dressing room yesterday?
No, I didn't. When I saw the soba making tools, I was worried about my allergy. But it was my only chance to get my revenge on the two of them, so I went ahead and did it.
So it was a premeditated crime, but in the end, you only went through with it on impulse. Then the allergic reaction on your hand? Is it from touching the soba in the refrigerator with your bare hands? When you were tampering with the crime scene after your master's death?
Yeah. By that time, I wasn't clear-headed enough to worry about my allergy.
Geiru, how could you do all this, you idiot?
Geiru, I get your desire to inherit your father's name. But what you really should have inherited from him wasn't his name, but his heart. His heart?
Do you have anything to add, Prosecutor Sadmadi? Any objections?
No, Your Honor. Mr. Phoenix Sykes. Yes? That's the first time he's used my name. I shall be sure to remember your name. Really?
It seems he finally recognizes you as a proper adversary.
Thanks. That's all I ask, Prosecutor Sadmadi.
It looks like there are no further objections. Bailiff, please bring in the defendant. Ah, good. It seems you have made a full recovery. Now then, this court finds the defendant, Bucky Whet.
Give it to me.
The cafe's gonna get in the soba. He just froze up.
You look so not happy to be there still, though.
Like, I'm not guilty. This court is adjourned.
So on May 13th, 11:55 a.m., we leave the courthouse victorious. Was that Athena's first case? Is that her first win? Not necessarily solo, but head lawyer Phoenix Sykes. Go for it. Congratulations, Bucky. I'm so glad you were found innocent.
Thanks for everything, Miss Chickadee.
But it still sucks that you were accused of a crime you didn't commit. Did Uendo have it out for you or something?
I don't think so. Wendo said it was a spur-of-the-moment idea he got when he saw the sober-themed cards.
Simon, where have you been?
I stopped in at Wendo's questioning. Only you, Bucky, could get framed for a crime on a whim. No way. Almost got convicted out of convenience. Well, at least you're being completely cleared of all charges, so buck up, Bucky. Wrong voice. Is he not drunk anymore? That's what I was wondering at the time. Is he sobered up?
On a more important note, what I really want to know is, why didn't Master Tornado let Geiru inherit her father's name?
What do you mean? On a more important note, Miss Chickadee?
Oh, don't be such a wet blanket. Just go with the flow. Now, come on. You think the Master was trying to encourage her to quit the entertainment business?
No, that's not it. He didn't give the name to her because he wanted Geiru to find her own calling in life. To perform whatever she wanted without being bound by her father's name or Rakugo. Making Udon was his way of showing his support for her in a new endeavour.
So that's why he called you to the theatre, huh? To teach him how to make udon.
A more roundabout way I've never seen, but that's Master Tornado for you.
So this entire incident happened because of a misunderstanding. How sad.
By the way, Geiru wasn't the only person Master Tornado was trying to cheer on, even though the person in question still seems unaware of the Master's intentions. What? You talking about me? Come on, no way! All that old man ever did was criticise my sober.
That's not true, Bucky. There must be a way to make Bucky see just how much Master Tornado cared about him.
Well, is this the point in time to use the evidence not yet used? Found the victim's possession is the deed for the sober shop. The deed holder is Bucky Whet. He's transferred the name to you. Even though he has it, maybe he had the deed, I don't know. But he's definitely transferred it, right?
Take that!
Take a good look, Bucky. Whose name is on there as the holder of this title deed?
It's still in my name. Master Tornado was just up to one of his tricks when he said he stole the shop from you. He was trying to force you to grow into a truly capable owner in your father's stead. He probably used some tough love on you so that the shop wouldn't just go belly up. Really? That's what he did? No! I see. I never knew. Oh, Master Tornado. I'm so sorry. You're working hard, Bucky, and pay him back by living up to his expectations. Thanks to me, and you too, Miss Chickadee. One day my sober's gonna be so good it'll knock that old man's socks clean off. After all, I'm the 4th generation owner of Wet Sober. Wet noodle number 4. Well, I better be getting back to my shop. I've got to be ready for the lunch rush. You're just going to go back to work? That's dedication.
Hold on. Can I place an order for delivery, Bucky?
Yes, Miss Chickadee.
Could you deliver a bowl of udon to Geiru on behalf of her master?
You got it. I'll make sure it's got all the TLC Master Tornado would have packed in it too.
Thank you.
Well, see ya. Be sure to drop by the shop sometime.
I will, and I'll bring the whole agency with me. It definitely seems to be a more cleanlier place
than a certain other noodle stand. You'll do us all proud, Bucky. I'll have the best sober in town waiting for you when you come. Peace out.
It's nice to see somebody giving it their all, isn't it? I wonder if I leveled up any thanks to this case.
Don't kid yourself. The trial would have been a spectacle and a half had I not been by your side.
You don't know that!
For a lawyer who's versed in psychology, you're too full of weak points. You need to learn to analyze yourself more objectively.
Or you could just teach me your famous mind trick, Simon.
No.
Why do you shut someone down? And why not?
Because the more pesky lawyers there are, the harder my job becomes. So it's in my best interest for you to remain green forever.
Hey, what about what's in my best interest, sir?
Or like, you know, justice's best interest?
Besides, weren't you the one who had the wool pulled over your eyes by Wendo?
Must you remind me? How could I have known Wendo would be time sober? Or would do it?
Hey, speaking of time sober, I just thought of something funny.
Oh goody, I can't wait.
Okay, here it is. In time sober, why didn't Mon number 9 get counted? I give you a pause to realise what this joke is. Come on. Do you know, Simon?
How should I know?
Because 789! Aha! Thank you. I'll be here all week. Roll on the floor laughing. Sure, Widget. Rotful.
That I should have known. Come on, let's go get sober or something and go home.
Your treat.
I'll treat you to 50% off the tab. Don't forget, you still owe me for that manju.
Really, Simon? It wouldn't hurt for you to pay for me every once in a while, you know.
Quit squawking and start walking, Athena.
Hey, wait for me!
That joke. Why?
I mean, it's so bad. But it was there. I may still have a ways to go as a lawyer. But just like Mr. Wright, Apollo, and Simon before me, I'm going to get there someday. After all, I've inherited their passion for our courts and the law. Je peux le faire! I can do this!
I probably pronounced that wrong. As we end yet another chapter. Or do we? Ah, yeah, we do.
Right, well that said, usually the 5th is the final one, usually the 4th leads straight into the 5th, which is not what's going on this time due to the switching back and forth and having an Apollo and an Athena case. So we move on to Turnabout Revolution. We know we're going back to Khura'in. We know we're going there. So join me next time after this short episode. Another finished case complete.
Let's see what happens. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.